Hey guys, third attempt. Welcome to episode 32 of Duke's Download with my guest Carson Kressley. We were having some technical issues, so hopefully this time we will not have the same problem. I'm going to wait 1 second for him to come on. For some reason, it asked the app, or it asked him to update his app before he could go live with me. So hopefully he'll come on any second. Oh, it says Carson Kressley joined. It's connecting. How are you?
Hi, I'm
I'm
here. Is it working?
I'm so sorry about that. Oh my God. I don't know what the problem was.
No, no worries. I didn't pay my Instagram bill, and then they turned off my service, like the light bill.
Well, it looks good. No, I can see it's like a different like look now. They're like two squares that are separated.
Oh, I
Do you
know,
see
and they're
that?
not as they're like wider framed. I was like, my shot
Right.
isn't as good as it was supposed to be, because they keep upgrading, and I hate when they change like what we're used to.
It's so annoying. And you were
But
just on like what, an hour ago making soup. So I mean it should
I
have been like
was.
so it's I don't know why between now and then and now it changed on you, but it's such a pleasure, really. Thank you for doing this.
It did, but we're here. Yeah, it's my
Oh yeah.
pleasure. It's finally great to. I know I've met you before, and I saw you. I think at True Colors. Was it last year in LA? Was that only a year ago?
A year ago. Yeah, I know
I,
it's like so much has changed since then. It's like I mean, it's like what a different world we live in, you know?
I know this year has felt like 2 years because, like, you know, it felt like we were watching Tiger King just a couple weeks ago, but it was months and months.
I mean, it's just, and I love how Tiger King. I mean, it was like the only thing people could talk about at the time, and now it feels like it's like a distant memory.
Oh, it's like
You
it
know,
was on in the 90s. Yeah, no, I forgot all about it.
exactly. But no, yeah. I mean, I don't think we had a chance to talk at the Cyndi Lauper thing. I mean, there was so much going on, but I know you talked to my mom, and she loves you.
Oh my
And
gosh.
you know, I'm such a huge fan, obviously, and you know, that was a great event. I mean, I saw you just did a virtual version. Is that right for this holiday season?
Yeah, yeah. I have been since 2008. I think we have been. This is our 10th anniversary of producing that concert,
Wow.
and but since 2008, I've been on the board of True Colors,
Mhm.
and since we have a fresh audience here, I'll tell you all about it.
Please
Check it
do.
out.
Yeah.
You can go to True Colors United on the gram and learn about our work. But basically, we work to eliminate youth homelessness. There are so many individuals under 18 years of age who are living in homelessness in the United States, which is ridiculous and totally preventable. But what is shocking and totally unacceptable is that 40% of these kids identify as LGBTQ. So that's a huge disproportion for the amount of uh, people in our society. 40% of these homeless kids are identify as LGBTQ. So we're really trying to change legislation, make sure that there's no discrimination in shelters, make sure that there are programs in government that will work to eliminate homelessness. So it's a really great charity. And every
Mm.
year we do an amazing concert. And Cyndi Lauper, who heads the whole shebang, knows everybody, like your mom and Cher, and this year we had Cher and Dolly and Taylor
Wow.
Swift and Billie Eilish,
Mhm.
and it's a really fun thing to be a part of. And I don't know if you can still watch it because it was on YouTube and Facebook Live,
Mhm.
but you can certainly go to True Colors United on Instagram or Cyndi Lauper on any platform and see snippets. I'm sure it's on YouTube actually because they were one of our partners. So you can probably still watch it, and it was a great show.
Oh, my mom just put a heart eyes emoji on here.
Oh my
She's
gosh,
like, but
I
no, I mean,
love it.
congratulations. I mean, that's insane. 10 years now. I mean, Wow. I mean, you guys have done so much good work. And I mean, of course, it would have been great to do it live again this year, but I'm sure, I mean, that's amazing that YouTube was a partner too, that they came on and said, we want to be, considering we have to do this online this year, we want to
Right.
be involved. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
and TikTok also, they were kind of like one of our presenting sponsors, and they did the first broadcast on Friday. And I had to
Right.
download TikTok because I'm an old person. I was like, what, how does this even work? Wait, we can watch streams on TikTok? I thought TikTok was about like 5 seconds and we had to dance, but apparently it's not. So, we're just getting, we're hip with the kids. So it was good. And we're a youth-based organization, so it was important that we use mediums that kids can also access and are accustomed to.
Right. No, absolutely. And I was going to ask you, I mean, obviously, with things like this and you've been super busy, but I mean, what has your life been like during COVID? Are you in Pennsylvania right now, or are you in New York?
No, I'm in Pennsylvania. So basically, when COVID happened, I was in Montreal in March working on a sitcom called The Bold Type. And it's for Freeform, which is ABC's young people platform. And I play a life coach, and it's very fun and funny. And but as we were filming, they were saying, "Oh, I think this COVID thing is like real. We might have to, wrap early. You probably have to cross the border and get home." So I took a last minute flight back from Montreal, went to New York, grabbed a bag, and went to Pennsylvania and thought, I'll just be here for a couple weeks till this blows over. I was there for 4 months.
Wow.
And I basically turned Amish. So when I'm here at the farm, I'm making cakes and making soup and working with the horses. Like, I could totally be undercover Amish. Like, if there was a show like that where you had to be that. And
You've already got it all you've got it all, ready to go. Like, everything there is to know about being Amish.
Oh, I can churn butter with the best of them. Don't even get me started. So when I'm not working, we've been really, really lucky. I know many people are not able to work, and it is really tragic, and it's just a terrible thing that's going on right now. We were lucky enough to film a new season of Drag Race, which is coming out January 1st. We're very excited about that. It's been something that gives people some laughter and some levity. And some fabulosity during the pandemic. So that new season starts January 1st. But when I'm not working, I'm usually here at the farm being a rugged country woman.
Rugged woman of the country.
Yes, yes.
But yeah, I mean, I obviously I know, you've got your horses out there, but I mean, how much time you said you spent the first 4 months in Pennsylvania, but so you did go back to the city for for the summer?
Yeah, then I went back to Los Angeles actually to
Okay.
work on this last season of Drag Race. So that was, and things felt a little more normal again. Certainly when you're working. And then when we wrapped all of that up, I went to do the show in Montreal till October. And then I came back to the East Coast. And now we're having, just like LA, in New York, we're having a second lockdown. We're having a lockdown in Pennsylvania. So, but it's somehow not as scary because we kind of have been through it before. And I think there's a light at the end of the tunnel, fortunately.
Absolutely. I mean, it's hopefully by summer, they're saying maybe things will start going back to normal. But I mean, as I'm sure you've seen in New York, I mean, I haven't been back to New York during this whole thing, but to see the small businesses, especially LGBTQ, clubs and establishments,
Right.
I'm just afraid of what's going to happen to New York and to LA, West Hollywood. I live in WeHo, so I mean, it's kind of, I think you're right. It's like we finally are seeing some hope at the light at the end of the tunnel. But it's also it's going to take a lot of work to try to get some of these small businesses back on their feet. That's what I'm
Yeah.
sort of afraid of.
I'm very being a New Yorker, and although I work in LA and I live there part of the year, I've lived in New York for 30 years. And
I was just watching the video of you doing the tour of your place on Park Avenue. I mean, it's like a dream. I mean, it's so beautiful. So
that
you did really.
thank you. I have fun designing and decorating. Those are my favorite shows to do. And yeah, I just buy stuff that I like and I make it work and it's fine.
I
Um,
love the leopard print. I'm a big leopard print fan. So I
oh,
like the carpet. I like the lampshades. It was very cool.
yeah, well, let me know. I'll give you the tour in person, and
I'd love
when
that.
you can finally come back to New York. And yeah, I'm kind of worried about. I'm worried about our LGBT clubs and restaurants. That I'm also really worried about Broadway. And I know you must be a Broadway lover. Your mom had a total like Broadway show, right? Wasn't
You did.
what
The
was her name?
Go-Go's had a Broadway musical.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's Head Over Heels. Exactly.
Head Over
Yeah,
Heels. Yeah, and Peppermint was in it. I went to see
he
it,
was.
and
He was.
it was fantastic. But now walking around the theater district of New York, you're just like, oh my gosh, this is a ghost town, and that's a real gem that we cannot afford to lose. Like Disney and all those people are going to be just fine, but off Broadway, independent theaters, regional theaters. If you're, if there's a regional theater in your town, whether you live in like Spokane, Washington, or Easton, Pennsylvania, like buy season tickets for next year if you can to keep these small theaters alive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now I'm good. I did all my PSAs.
No, but I have plenty more to ask you on that in that sort of realm. But regarding horses, I mean, I already knew a lot about you, and I mean, I knew you were an equestrian, and I knew that you were quite accomplished in that realm. But I didn't realize that like it was something that you've been doing since you were a kid, and that your family was involved with very early on in your life, and like, so is that something you still like right now, like even just sort of as a hobby? Are you doing that like all the time, or like what is that like for you over there?
Yeah, we have I think about 20 horses here on the farm, which is too
Wow.
many. And then some of them are mamas, some of them are babies, some of them are learning to be
Oh.
competitive horses. And then I show a couple of them. And I basically just do it whenever I have time. If I'm not working and I can get to where the horse shows are, then I do it. And if not, I always have horses here at home that I can ride and chill out. And it's great therapy. And you just forget about everything because you're trying not to die, and that's very, takes your mind off of all your other troubles and drama. So they have been a great constant in my
You're
life.
in
I've
the
always
moment.
had,
I imagine you're in the moment whenever you're on
yeah,
horseback.
exactly. You must be in the moment because if you're thinking about something else, you could be on the ground momentarily because you really have to be paying attention.
And I mean, I can imagine too. I mean, even though it must have been difficult after 4 months to have like a place to go and kind of escape from the world during this time when everybody was sort of trying to be away from other people. I mean, that must have been kind of, and to have something like that to, like, as you said, to take your mind off of whatever was going on. Are you planning to spend like the whole rest of the winter or the holiday anyways on the farm?
Yeah, I think that since we're in this like second kind of lockdown moment and numbers are really high and they're saying like kind of avoid crowds and don't travel, I'm gonna stick around here. I was supposed to go to Montana to go skiing.
Mm.
So I may or may not do that depending on how things go, but mostly I'm planning to just be here. I thought I was going to be super organized and get all my shopping done, and of course I'm not. I'm like, what have I been doing? I've been making soup. I should be able to get all my stuff done, but I haven't. So I'm just going to hunker down and do the holidays here.
I saw you had Ross over there with you. Was it last week?
I
Those were some.
did. Yeah, I
Those
did.
were some cute. There was cute videos, cute photos.
Yeah, he and his partner. Yeah, I think he's like public that he's kind of like relocated to New York, which I was thrilled because he had always lived in California. And I was like, gosh, he would love New York. So he has a place here now. And I said, you've got to, just pop over for the weekend. and we all get tested at work, etc. So he came for a visit, and it was really, really fun. And he was very cute with the horses. They were like afraid to feed them treats. I'm like, they're totally not going to do anything.
They're not going to bite your hand off.
Yeah, no, but they were very fun. And we cooked and just we watched Jackie Beats Drag Christmas Extravaganza, and it was fun.
He was that the first time he'd been on the farm before?
Yeah, he's been to New York many times, but he's never been out to Pennsylvania. So it was a good education. He was dying to see some Amish people. I'm like, Ross, you can't put them on the Instagram. They do not like photography.
It's like that movie. What's that movie?
Witness.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And there's that other movie from like 20 years ago, the M. Night Shyamalan movie. I don't know if they were Amish. This might be kind of bigoted of me to say, but the movie about the people who don't know when that they're living in like, they think they're still living in like the 1800s, and they walk outside and it's like, you know, they've got helicopters and things around.
Yeah, those were Amish people. But there was an M. Night Shyamalan. Maybe it was an Amish theme because he's from Philadelphia, so it's very likely. But I don't think I saw that one.
Yeah, I forget anyway. I just remember like at the end of the movie, one of them ventures out and they realize that like it's 2020 or 2010 or whatever, as opposed to 1890. You know, so
right.
Anyway, I digress.
I hate when that happens.
Exactly. But no, I wanted to say, first of all, I have to say it. You know, how grateful I am to you for being such a trailblazer for me and for so many people. You know, as a kid, as a teenager, watching Queer Eye, I was thinking like, because I remember watching it as a teenager, and I remember realizing, I just realized not too long ago, it's been 17 years, almost 2 decades since the show premiered. And I was just curious, like, I mean, not only Queer Eye, but the fact that, you know, Drag Race has a new season. Like, how do you feel about, it must be interesting from your perspective to see the changes that have happened both politically and culturally with LGBTQ representation, and like, what is it, is it, do you have like, do you think about that? Like looking back on like the evolution when it comes to our culture with LGBTQ issues?
Yeah, I mean, of course, and thank you. And that's so kind. And, you know, people always say like, what was the best part of like doing that show? And I always say, gosh, I wish we had Instagram back then 20 years ago, because there's so much that we did that I forgot about. There'll be, you know, I'll run into like someone that I've worked with and like, remember that time we went to the White House and Dolly was there? And I was like, no, I don't remember. Like, it was such a whirlwind.
Yeah.
But the best thing, and I still get it today from your comments, or maybe I'll be like on a plane and the flight attendant will hand me like a little napkin and it'll say like, thank you so much. I watched your show and it allowed me to have a dialogue with my family about being gay, and it allowed me to come out, and it was much easier because of you and your show. And that always makes me feel amazing and gives me goosebumps. Mm-hmm. So I know the show had a big impact on all kinds of people all over the world. It was in 98 countries. Mm-hmm. And the best thing that, you know, you could ever do being in the media is, you know, make somebody's life a little bit easier or better. And knowing that we did that was great. We didn't even think that we were doing that. We just, you know, I was just trying to get rid of pleated khakis and mullets. And, but, you know, visibility on television is so important when you just happen to show people doing what they do, and hopefully doing it well, whether it's a contestant on The Voice or 5 gay guys who are giving makeovers, or a newscaster that's out, or a singer. When you see people like that thriving, then young people say, well, I can be whatever I want, and I don't have to be ashamed of my sexuality, and I can be proud of who I am. And look, there's so many people just like me. And I think that's really important. And I think now we have so much more LGBTQ visibility, trans visibility, things that are really important, because it makes you less alien to people. And then people say, well, they're not that different than we are. You know, I really like watching this person on TV. And it changes people's attitudes. And hopefully moves the needle for not just tolerance, but acceptance forward.
Without a doubt. And I think, what I find really interesting, this is broader than just the LGBTQ thing. It's sort of this, like this broader sort of cultural, not clash, but yeah, I mean, the cultural divide that we're seeing in America now.
Right.
And it's something that's obviously always been there, but especially in the since the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s. And with Trump, I feel like it's gotten even more sort of polarized. But like, I find it so fascinating that, you still live in Pennsylvania. I saw you just did the Allentown Thanksgiving celebration, which I thought was so sweet that you were involved in that. But like,
right.
What is that like from living there and being there and so-called, even though I guess it went for Biden, but a
right.
place where there's a lot of that sort of Trump country sort of culture. Like,
right.
what is your perspective on that, and sort of that, because that was a big part of Queer Eye, like trying to bridge that cultural
yes.
divide.
Yeah, I think it's really, really important, and I think that yeah, it is very polarized. And I know that, when you see like people who are seemingly full of hate and embracing things that are just so terrible, I think that, you just have to try and educate people and be out there and be authentic and have conversations. I think that's what is so great about the new iteration of Queer Eye, in that, they modernized that show because they went to the rural South, to like, remote parts of Georgia or Missouri. And they had conversations with people and said, listen, we're not that different. They took that kind of bridge building one step further. And I think that's something we all have to do right now, whether it's at our holiday table, because odds are you're going to meet somebody that has very different either political or religious or whatever views. And we just have to keep that dialogue going and keep that, common thread of humanity that says, listen, we're not that different. I think education is really important too, because I know that we have lots of great people here and in all over the United States. And I was shocked by the election numbers, and that, it was so like 50-50 practically. I know that we have a lot of work to do to educate people as to what's right and fair and just. And we have to keep talking is the thing. We can't just, put up walls. And I hope that we are, entering a new era where there'll be some more listening, maybe. I don't know. I feel like we were in a very anti-listening, very like, my way or the highway kind of world for a while.
Totally. I mean, I think Queer Eye was, both the original version and the new version is all about listening and communicating, as opposed to just sort of staying in your blue state, red state, liberal,
right.
conservative, gay, straight, sort of mentality. So I think you're, without a doubt, both versions of Queer Eye have been, a real, part of helping to not just LGBTQ versus
right.
straight, but just in general. It's culture, just culture in general.
Exactly. Yes. Listening,
right.
not being afraid of what's different, I think is really important, and listening to understand where people come from. I mean, the whole idea of being woke, like I'm a pretty worldly exposed and traveled person. And I was just like, God, I'm woke. But I wasn't. Like, it takes work, and you have to listen, and you have to learn and read and understand other people's experiences.
Well, absolutely. I was going to ask you, of course, and you already sort of mentioned it, but about the new Drag Race season. So you said, when did you guys start filming? Like, how long, what was that whole process like? You were doing it during COVID.
That was, Drag Race, I think, was one of the first productions that got back up and running at the end of the summer. It seems like I was going to say last year, because it seems like so long ago. And we had very rigid COVID protocols, which I think, SAG and AFTRA and the state of California and everybody was very, very, I'm very proud to work in entertainment. I think they were very kept safety paramount, but at the same time tried to be really innovative and say, how can we get people back to work? Because a production provides so many jobs for the people that work in the studio, the people that work in craft services, the people that do hair and makeup, the actors, the contestants, the lighting, the film, sound mixers. It's a huge, huge industry. So it was great to get back to it. So yeah, we did it. It was a little different. You're going to see some changes in the show. Nothing that really affects anything. And after the first couple of days, we're like, this is fine. But there's just, you know, some different, some things will be slightly different, but it's a great season. We have such amazing queens. And they're very diverse as usual. And I just love discovering the new, you know, the new queens. I love an all-stars. That's always great because we know them. And I think all-stars is great because it gives people a chance to maybe like got caught up and got in their head during their season to take a breather and say, oh, I just need to be myself and do what I do. Mm-hmm. But on a new season of Drag Race, it's so great because we discover new talent from all over the United States. And it's really fun getting to know the new cast.
And so wait, you said the new season that's premiering January, that's just regular
Drag Race,
right?
RuPaul's Drag Race season 13.
Right. And then, but then there's going to be another all-star in the near future. Is that what is there?
I don't. New year? No, I'm just saying that, you know, I love a regular Drag Race season because we get to meet people we've never seen before.
Right. No, absolutely. And I'm so excited. New Year's Day, right?
I know. Yeah, it's earlier than ever, but I think VH1 and Viacom, they were all just like, listen, we have it. It's done. People need the laughter and the light right now. So it's coming out a little earlier than normal.
Right. Well, I mean, people are thrilled. I mean, I'm thrilled. I'm so excited. But so, yeah, so now that that's filmed, and basically it's just going to be premiering January 1st. Do you have other projects that for the new year? Or are you sort of taking a beat and then going to figure it out come January?
No, I do. I always try to have you ever seen that Joan Rivers documentary?
Of course. The one from like 10 years ago, right? That she did with, it was, I love Joan and Melissa. I interviewed Melissa for the show. But I mean, it was the one, I forgot what it was called.
Yeah, it was called like Joan Rivers, like No Regrets or Unfiltered or something like that.
Yeah, right.
But she had this like compulsion to have a full calendar. And if her calendar wasn't full, she was uncomfortable and anxious.
Work. Somebody pointed out a piece of work. Or Jason pointed out a piece of work.
Yes, exactly. That's what it's called. I'm the same way. Like I am panic stricken if my calendar isn't full. And that's why I fill my days with making soup some days when I don't have stuff to do. But fortunately, I do have, I have 2 new shows this in January. There's a new show coming out on Food Network called Dirty Dishes, which I will be in along with Sonia Morgan, if you're a Real Housewives of New York fan. And
I saw she was over at your place not too long ago, right?
Yeah, we were filming, and it's a super fun show for Food Network. And then I have another one that I'm filming in Texas, in Austin. We were supposed to film it last March, like literally like the world shut down, I think, on March 12th. And we were all supposed to fly to Texas on March 11th. And that was the kibosh was put on that, but we are refilming that January and February of this year in Texas. So yeah, I'm busy, and then hopefully we'll have, you know, another season of Drag Race, etc. But I'm always trying to stay busy, do different projects, and stay out there. It's, you know, it's a hustle, this showbiz gig.
Oh yeah, well, and especially during COVID. I mean, I know for actors, musicians, you know, my mom, entertainers in general, it's an interesting time. So, you know, congratulations. You know, you have so many great things going on. And, you know, as I said, thank you for everything you've done for me and for so many, you know, people. And, you know, we all owe you a huge debt of gratitude. So,
oh gosh, that's crazy. But if everybody would like to send $1 to, no, I'm kidding. I'm just doing what I was meant to do. So it's all good.
Well, thank you, Carson. Thank you for doing this. And yeah, I seriously, next year, in fact, the Go-Go's have some shows in, I mean, if, God willing, things actually go back to normal by next summer, they have some shows scheduled for the East Coast. So,
Oh my
um,
God, I would die. I
so
would
you
die.
should come to a show, and then maybe also I'd love to come see, I would love to see your place in New York. So
Yeah, do. I'll bet I'm gonna look at the schedule, but I'll bet they're doing like Jones Beach or something in or around the city.
there,
And I
I
would
think they have some
die.
New York and Pennsylvania dates. So
Perfect. Yeah, DM me with them, or I'll look them up and stalk you as we get closer.
I'll stalk you. I'll be like, hey, when are you in New York? So don't worry, I'll reach out.
Okay, please do. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good night. Have a
You
good week.
too.
Bye.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.